We welcome you aboard, Soumya. Thank you so much for agreeing to be with us here. Soumya,
Good to be here.
Soumya, at this point, I would like you to please introduce yourself in a couple of lines.
Sure. So actually, you've done a brilliant job of introducing. I was just listening to you when I sent in the request. So I'm Soumya, and I've been practicing as a psychotherapist for the last 3 years. And I started my own organization. The name of the organization is Dhyana, and my vision is essentially to combine what the Western psychology has to say about the human mind and what yogic sciences have to say. So combining the two, that's where the name Dhyana comes from. So which essentially means a place of meditative rest. And so in
Right.
my therapeutic practice or even in the mindfulness sessions that I take for people, the idea is to help them take ownership of their own mental health and their emotional health, and create the kind of life that they would like to lead. Yeah.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I mean, that's one thing that we have all constantly been trying to do is be happy mentally and emotionally. Um, so, starting on that note, Soumya, I want to ask a very, very basic question here from you. What are the purpose of emotions to start with? Why do they exist if they only complicate our lives for the
Oh,
worse?
I love this question. I think like 1 hour is not enough to be talking about it, but essentially, I would just like to start off by saying that I'm going to pick your word, and I'm going to say that emotions have a purpose in our life. And when the field of psychology came about, for simplification reasons, we kind of categorized one set of emotions as positive and one as negative. However, that does not mean that one set of emotions is superior to the other. That has now become the common understanding ki agar, if I'm happy, if I'm peaceful, well, these are emotions I want to keep. But if I'm angry or if I'm feeling hurt, I don't want to keep these emotions. But if they were not serving a purpose in our lives, we wouldn't have them still. So I'd like to explain this with the help of an example. Let's say we did not have the emotion of fear, right? Now, if you don't have fear, that means you will continue to get yourself into situations that can physically harm you because आपको डर नहीं लगता. मतलब रात को सड़क पे अकेले जाने में डर नहीं लगेगा. And that would mean that your survival by itself is going to get come in a place of jeopardy, right? So all of the emotions that we have are still with us because they're serving a reason. Even an emotion like disgust is there because अगर disgust नहीं होगा तो आप कुछ भी खा लोगे. So you will look at a moldy bread, you will not feel the emotion of disgust, you will eat it and you will poison yourself. So emotions are there because they're still serving a purpose in our lives. And I think it's unfortunately because of the media and because of our own upbringing, we've been taught to fear a set of emotions and we've never been taught how to deal with it. And that's why लोग डर जाते हैं. अगर अगर आप किसी से पूछो कि how are you feeling today, the typical answer, and I don't like it, is I'm fine, thank you, how are you? So yeah, so I think it's so important to recognize what is it that you're feeling, because unless you recognize it, there's not much that you can do with it.
So हमें कई बार ये responses हमें सिखा भी दिए जाते हैं ना. Like when we are in school, we are literally made to write. When somebody says, "How are you?" You're supposed to
Yeah,
return them with "Thank you," "I'm fine, thank you," and then "How are you?" Right? So it
absolutely.
becomes a very mechanical response after a point, or even the fear again, the fear of
Hmm.
any other answer being the wrong one, not only in the way you're expressing yourself, but also the way the other person is perceiving it.
Yeah,
अच्छा अब तो शुरू
yeah,
हो जाएगा ये, शुरू
yeah,
रखो.
yeah, yeah.
So thank you. That's a new way of looking at things. Purpose है भाई, emotions की जरूरत हमें हमें उतनी ही है जितनी बाकी और physical organs की है, body में
Hmm.
दूसरे part है. जिंदा रहने के लिए वो बहुत vital है हमारे लिए. तो पहले तो ये मानना जरूरी है कि emotions है और उनकी जरूरत है. Now
Absolutely.
that brings me to the next question, सौम्या. मुझे ये भी समझना है बड़ा, कहीं भी आजकल आप किसी भी इमोशनल साइकोलॉजिकल या यू आर योगा इंस्ट्रक्टर एज वेल, तो हम कहीं भी कुछ भी देख रहे होते, द वर्ड हैप्पीनेस बॉदर्स मी.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
please explain. It is please explain. what is it that one has to understand when talking about happiness? I mean, especially me personally, I feel
Mhm.
burdened with the whole idea of being happy. It's just so difficult for me to stay
Yeah.
happy. What is happiness to start with?
Okay, you've asked me such a philosophical question, but a very pertinent one at that. So, like you rightly said, कि there is so much pressure. हमने इतना create कर लिया है कि पूरे समय खुश रहना है. If I'm not feeling happy, मतलब मेरे साथ कुछ गड़बड़ है. What we have forgotten in the experience is that you're a human being, which means कोई दिन अच्छा होगा, कोई दिन बुरा होगा. Some things may feel good, some things may feel bad. So you will have this roller coaster ride in life. However, we just want to feel at the top of the world और वो नहीं लग रहा होता है तो लगता है कि गलत है. Now, happiness by itself, just to answer your question, it can be understood in many different ways. But uh, happiness, for a lot of people, people confuse happiness with the idea of pleasure. For example, मैंने chocolate खाया, मुझे थोड़ी देर के लिए I get this kick. It's actually pleasure. I'm indulging my senses. And क्योंकि वो pleasure है, my senses are getting indulged, थोड़ी देर में वो खत्म भी हो जाएगा. I go to a movie, I feel good for those 4 hours, I come back and now I've come back to neutral. But in my head, I'm like, oh no, I'm not happy anymore. Something is wrong with me. So happiness is actually sort of an umbrella term which contains a lot of emotions. There's pleasure there, there is peace there is contentment. So, at different times you will experience it in different ways. But what we have to remember is that the more that old saying कि तुम जितना पकड़ोगे वो उतना दूर भागेगी, it's like a butterfly. Because that's exactly what happens when we put this much pressure on ourselves. We're constantly feeling there is something wrong with us. But I just want to tell you that it's okay if you're not happy all the time. That's because you're human, and it's a part of our human experience. So it's okay. We've just created too big a deal out of it. It's just an emotion.
Right. So maybe we're trying too hard to be happy. At this point,
Yeah.
Soumya, just giving you a heads up here, we are taking responses from the audiences, and I also
Okay.
urge the audience, please ask your questions. Please ask your questions, whatever it is. Maybe just a response to an agreement, but keep writing. That's very, very encouraging for me and the speaker. So Shrishti says, "Oh yes, it's very mechanical response, and
Yeah.
there's never a lot of thought put into it. It's like they asked and you kind of responded, and that is where it ends for us all,
Yeah.
most of it.
Yeah.
Uh, so Soumya, you're telling me to you are telling me to be okay about the fact that you're not feeling too happy today, right?
Yeah.
That's a level of acknowledgement that you are expecting me to
Yeah.
have. Well, I still feel uncomfortable. I think, everybody around me lives in a certain level of pressure.
Yeah.
Not feeling happy is one thing, but there are times when I'm probably also not in the mood to
Hmm.
smile or laugh or participate in that particular joke. And I'm not liking that about myself.
Okay. Yeah. Hmm.
You experience emotions that you find very not only difficult but also very irritating, and
Yeah.
you don't want them in your life. Is there
Yeah.
a
Because they
way?
don't feel good. Yeah.
Yeah, is there a way you can be kind of at peace with it?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question in return for this. Okay, imagine, Namita, that you're in the kitchen and you're preparing like this nice fancy meal for yourself, but in the process you end up nicking one of your fingers and now there's blood oozing out of it. What would you do?
Right. Deal with it and then get on with the work.
So how would you deal with it? What would you like to do at that point?
Put it under the tap, running tap water, and
Mm.
then maybe do some amount of bandage and then move on.
I love that you said I'm going to do some amount of bandage and then I will move on, which means you stopped, you paused, you recognized कि physically chot lagi hai, which means I need to clean it under the tap and now I need to bandage it. This is what we call first aid when we are suffering from some sort of a physical pain. Unfortunately, हमें emotional pain या psychic pain से deal करना कोई सिखाता नहीं है. So if you don't know how to deal with it, which means अगर I have this uncomfortable feeling, maybe it's hurt, maybe it's anger, I'm not sure, but also I don't know how to deal with it, so I want to push it away. And that's why when you're trying to push it away, you feel very uncomfortable with ये क्या चल रहा है मेरे साथ. But at this point, what I would recommend is that And it comes with practice, that if you can pause and stay with that feeling, the feeling will tell you what is it that you need to do at that time. So it's sort of, it's a wound, it's a psychic pain that you're experiencing. It's important for you to address what's going on with you at that time. And that feeling of being uncomfortable is understandable, because like you rightly said, हमारे घर के बड़े भी हमको नहीं सिखाते हैं. बचपन में अगर दुखी होते हैं, the response is, अरे दुखी नहीं होते, अच्छे बच्चे हो तुम तो, कितने प्यारे बच्चे हो, don't be sad, रोते नहीं है. So if you don't even know what to do with that emotion, it's natural you feel uncomfortable with it, right? So the first step, of course, is what you said, which is we learn to acknowledge our emotions. And the second step is learn to stay with it. It's here because it's trying to tell you something, and you can't bandage it till you don't even allow yourself to notice what's happening.
How
And
nice!
just like
I'm always thinking about. I hope you all are also listening. Acknowledging doesn't really always mean you said, yeah, I'm experiencing this, and it doesn't feel so good. What Soumya is saying is pause, wait, reflect, and
yeah,
see what it is trying to tell you. ठीक है,
yeah,
अगर you're not feeling too good about it, one day, maybe you don't feel up to it and you don't want to go to the office. सौम्या, ये इमोशंस तो फिर भी आसान होती हैं डील करने के लिए, कि रुक गए, देखा, बोला यार आज पता नहीं सुबह ही उठी ना तो बहुत अच्छा नहीं लग रहा था, ठीक है,
हाँ,
तो दिल नहीं, you acknowledging it and you may be also dealing with it. Maybe my body wants rest and therefore my mind is reacting to it, or maybe there's a lot of pressure
yeah,
at work. ये तो एक तरीके की बात. कुछ इमोशंस वाकई डिस्टर्बिंग होते हैं even for the people around.
yeah, yeah,
Let's say I'm going through this phase where I'm feeling triggered to a point where I'm reacting a lot to the people around me. I don't
yeah,
mean to hurt. Okay, I don't
yeah,
mean to hurt, but I really, really want to express myself in that way because I don't feel heard. And I'm not being able to express in the socially acceptable way. It could be with a friend, it could be with family or whatever. Similarly, somebody did something and I want to confront and I want to have an explanation. But the moment I do, I'm called out maybe for being on the edge or living on the edge or whatever. And, emotionally, I'm on the edge and not being able to handle. What I basically want to understand here is acknowledging certain kind of emotion still comes easily. But what do you do when you're going through socially so-called not the positive emotions like hurt, anger, anxiety, depression, sadness? Yeah.
So, see, when you say something like, I'm feeling triggered and I'm reacting towards everybody who's in my life, that already means that the emotion has gone unnoticed for a long time, and that's the reason that आप अंदर से इतना भर गए हो that you're feeling the need to react instead of respond to what is happening around you. So कई बार क्या होता है, इतना कुछ अंदर भरा हुआ है that even if something is not connected to what you're feeling, you end up displacing your anger, or you end up, you're like, I'm in a very bad phase, I don't want to listen to what is it that you're telling me. And that in all likelihood, it could have happened because the emotion has gone unchecked for a while. You were not ready to, listen to what is happening inside, and now it's come to a place where वो फट रहा है, volcano जैसे बाहर आ रहा है पूरा का पूरा. Or another reason could be, just as we are uncomfortable sometimes in dealing with certain difficult emotions, so are people around us equally ill-equipped to deal with that emotion coming towards them. Because अगर मैंने किसी को जाके बोला कि तुमने मुझे चोट पहुंचाई है, I feel hurt because of you, suddenly their defenses come up and they're like, oh, it's not me, it's you, right? So again, if you enter this conversation with the mode to attack कि तेरी वजह से हुआ है, then the other person will suddenly have their guards up and they're like, no, get out of this, right? Instead, I would say that when this emotion is coming to you and you're feeling the need to just sort of, अभी मैं फट जाऊं, मैं कुछ भी बोल दूं, sublimate that response, which means you do something to release this excess energy that has built in, and then enter that conversation so that you're also a little bit more in control of what is happening within you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a lot actually. A lot. Yeah. I want to take the audience responses here, Soumya. There are a lot of them here, and I'm so happy people are giving a lot of feedback. So we have Amit. He says realizing that an anomaly exists is difficult.
Yeah.
yeah, and what can be the markers? Now the
Hmm.
Boho girl says that's a good tip. So
Hmm.
we have Lalit Manumanas who says very beautifully explained, and we are so much in hurry to chase the happiness bit that we
Hmm.
never pause and acknowledge other kinds of emotions that we are going through. Amit again says that psychic pain too has conditioning effect. I don't even know what that pain is.
Hmm.
Uh, because psychic in my head has such a wider meaning. At
Yeah.
times we get used to it and subconsciously. Yes, I get it. Shrishti says that sometimes living with a particular emotion can also cause a lot of. Yes, definitely. I want to bring that aspect also into the discussion at some point. So that's
Okay, you're back. You froze for a second.
oh, I did. So,
Yeah, now you're back. Hmm.
then, as far as that Boho girl says that unfortunately we have been taught to be successful,
Hmm.
positive, and happy. We've never
Hmm.
been taught about dealing with situations or emotions when you're not comfortable or when you feel confused. Simple as that.
Yeah,
Now
that's
there are lots
absolutely
of
spot on.
responses.
Yeah.
You want to
Hmm.
respond to them one at a time?
You tell me, which one would you like for me to begin with? There were a lot of comments. Somebody said
Comments.
identify an anomaly if something is happening,
Yeah.
right? I think that was the first one. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So there's actually a stepwise process that I would like to guide everyone who's here, and in fact, you also, Namita. So, uh, the body and the mind are very intrinsically connected. It's one unit, but हम लोगों ने बहुत ज़्यादा emphasis दे दिया on the physical body. Mind लोगों को समझ नहीं आता तो हम उतना ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. But anytime you're experiencing a difficult emotion, let's say I'm going to take you back to a time in your life. Don't pick something that's too challenging. Just pick any difficult emotion or any difficult situation that you have been in. Just imagine it in your head.
Yeah.
Okay? Can you try and identify the emotion that you're feeling when you think about the situation?
No, no.
Okay. There
It's
is
just
no need.
it's not
There is no.
good on the inside, but yeah, I can't usually identify hurt from anger most of the time. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So there's just this feeling of being uncomfortable. Okay. And now I want you to pause a little bit more and notice when you think about this incident, is there any reaction in your body somewhere?
anger.
There is
Physically, no.
physically no. Okay.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I get tingling sensation in my uh, calves, and I don't know why, but legs
Mm-hmm.
very. I can't stay still. I feel very restless there, and I keep.
Okay,
Um,
okay. So you feel restless and there's this tingly sensation there. Okay. And when you think about this particular situation, whatever came into your head, is there a thought that came along with it? What did you think about?
well, unwanted, I think.
The
Is
situation was unwanted? Is that what
no,
came to you?
I feel very unwanted in.
You felt unwanted. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. So, what I was trying to do here is I was trying to get you in touch with the different ways in which the emotion is manifesting for you. So, the one thing that you said was that it didn't feel good. You did not like what's happening. It was somewhere between feeling hurt and feeling angry. And along with that, there's this thought of being unwanted. So, I'm assuming this is, I could be completely wrong, but is this in association to a romantic partnership of some kind? Or
No,
like a close relationship of some kind?
no, it's yeah. I mean, yeah, but oh,
A
definitely
close
not
relationship. Okay,
close.
so a close relationship where you felt unwanted, and then you were feeling restless, and there was this tingly situation, sensation happening in your feet, right? These are all signals that your body is giving you to help you understand what is going on with you. So anytime we have a difficult emotion that we are feeling, there may be times when you're not able to identify what's happening with you at all, but you may be able to recognize the physical sensation that your body tells you. So I'm assuming that anytime a similar situation repeats, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you may have experienced this tingling earlier also in different situations, this feeling of restlessness. I need to walk, or I need to move around, or fidget, right? That's the emotion manifesting in the physical form with you. And the thought is trying to tell you, why is this emotion here? So if your thought is telling you, I am unwanted, that means you could be feeling underappreciated in the relationship that you're a part of. Or the other person is not reciprocating the way that you thought they should be reciprocating. So maybe there is a need. The emotion is here to tell you that, you know what, you need to go and talk to this significant person about what this relationship is doing. So all in all, this emotion came to you because it's here for a reason. It's trying to give you some sort of a message. And that's how you identify. You pause, then you notice the feeling, you notice the physical sensation, you notice the thought, and then you try and understand ये क्यों आया है अभी मेरे पास. Instead of trying to push it away कि बुरा लग रहा है, I don't want to feel this, maybe I just want to have a piece of cake instead. Yeah?
No, is there always a physical sensation accompanying a strong emotion? Always?
Yeah. We tend to distract ourselves, and so we may not
have associated the two together, or maybe a lot of you like me would not have had made, you would not have had made that correlation. You would have taken the physical problem as an extremely physical problem and the emotional as a momentary thing or whatever it is that you're mentally. But the two are always related. So I want you to take a moment when, just like I did, go visit that particular moment where you did not feel too good about experiencing the feeling that was coming your way. And if or not there was a physical manifestation of the same, Soumya says there always is one. So I would want you to please identify your physical symptoms as well. Soumya, again, there are comments.
I want to thank you here, Namita, for sharing that so openly, because it's difficult, especially when there's a setting of people who are watching this. It could be difficult. It may bring up emotions. So I just wanted to thank you for acknowledging what was happening with you.
Thank you, Soumya. Thank you. But you felt like a safe place, and that feels so much more better. So we are again. So Boho Girl says. No, I have already dealt with that. We are looking into. Okay, I think I scrolled too high up. Yeah. So Shrishti says we try to distance ourselves, but the thought keeps coming back. Yes, that happens too. I think that is the pressure we are putting ourselves under when we are not acknowledging that we are feeling a certain way. That Boho Girl says we do feel physical changes, such an elevated heart rate, sweaty palms. Oh yes, there could be so many ways your body reacts to it. What I am trying to understand here, Soumya, is not all the time would you be aware of these sensations when in the moment. Like, let's say if you're feeling this okay, so you're going through a difficult emotion, you're not very happy with the way somebody has treated you, or maybe you're not feeling too good about being misunderstood in a certain situation. Personally talking, because I think the audiences will connect more if I am going to be talking about what happens in real time when I am caught up in a situation like that. I think everything else goes into silence, and the only overpowering emotion I am witnessing at that point and becoming victim to or prisoner to rather is anger.
Okay.
Is anger. That's the most dominant theme when I look at all kinds of experiences that I have with various kinds of relationships around me. So I'm not aware of my physical sensations. Anger,
but you're aware of the emotion. How do you deal with anger? That's a very valid question. Okay, so I have a counter question for you here. In what situations do you think you are normally angered? If you have to think of a common factor.
I feel angry most of the time. That's like my standard way of reaction. I mean, I'm unkind.
That's no, that's not unkind at all, because that's actually way more common that you would have than you would have acknowledged it for yourself, because apart from happiness and sadness, anger is another emotion जिसका हमको नाम पता होता है, which means
हाँ,
कई बार लोगों को दुख हो रहा होता है लेकिन दुख से डील करना नहीं आता, लेकिन गुस्सा करते आता है क्योंकि घर के बड़ों ने गुस्सा किया होता है, और you may have seen anger in the office. It's an easier emotion to feel and let out also, right? So sometimes your emotion may disguise itself also in the form of anger. And so for a lot of people, anger may become like a go-to emotion. Difficult emotion equals anger. Difficult emotion equals anger. So in some situations that may happen, but a lot of times anger may also be happening because anger is a reaction that you have when you think something or someone is being unfair to you. Something on the outside is being unfair, or something on the inside is being unfair. And then you want to retaliate to that unfairness. You want to restore that justice again. So अगर किसी ने, let's say office में there is a colleague who took undue advantage of the work that I had done. This is an unfair situation. मुझे गुस्सा आएगा, and my गुस्सा in this situation is also valid. अगर मुझे गुस्सा express करते आता है, then I will express it. I may yell, scream, etc. Some people may not know how to do that. वो रोने लगते हैं in this situation, or they may socially withdraw themselves in this particular situation. So again, I would again take you back, and I would urge you to maybe reflect on the pattern that exists between these different episodes where you're experiencing this intense anger. Is that just a way that you have learned to deal with difficult situations in life? Maybe it's a way for you to protect yourself. Maybe that's how you thought that anger might help me get my way, or maybe anger is just disguising itself in the shape of another emotion is disguising itself in the form of anger. So anger also, it has, for some reason, it's gotten a very bad reputation in our society कि anger हमेशा बुरा होता है, लेकिन anger हमेशा बुरा नहीं होता है. Again, if you are allowing it to consume you, which means you like you said, you completely identify with the emotion instead of recognizing that your emotion is a visitor. Like happiness comes and goes, anger also comes and goes. If you allow it to consume you completely, that's when you will start reacting and spilling out on other people. If you sit with it for some time, and this is, I'm borrowing a little bit from Buddhist philosophy, where you're taught to actually sit with difficult emotions, actually let it consume you till the time you understand, why did this feeling visit me? And once you've understood why is it visiting you, the next time you may be in a better situation to deal with it.
Oh, that's heavy.
That's heavy.
That took me off the next question that I was going to ask you. So in the meantime, let's look at the comments, and there must definitely be beautiful things here. So Shrishti says we try to distract ourselves, but the thought keeps coming back. That's where we left at. Girl, we do feel physical. Yes, we've done that. Anaya Arora says headaches and joint pains are very common manifestations of negative emotions experienced by the most.
Yeah.
I would urge the listeners to please to make a note of that and go back into episodes where you've not felt too good about yourself or that emotion. Shrishti says, I keep checking my phone again and again without any reason. It's a bizarre feeling. Well, I think a lot of people.
It's a way to distract yourself, right?
Yeah, it's distraction.
Uncomfortable. मैं Instagram पे I will swipe till the time this emotion goes away. लेकिन वो वहाँ पे चुपचाप बैठा रहेगा. And once you're done with Instagram, then the emotion is like, hi, I'm still here. You're still sad. Let's deal with it. Yeah. So, in fact, I'll just tell you this. When I was learning, and because it's a process, I'm still learning. When I was learning how to deal with difficult emotions, this is one of the things that I was taught, which was that, if happiness visits you, you're almost curious and you're like, oh, happiness is here. Let me welcome it. Yeah. How about you deal with difficult emotions also the same way? So guilt is coming. Instead of being like, I don't want to feel guilty, you get curious and you're like, oh, okay, guilt. Why are you here? Let's, sit with me. Tell me why are you here? And then, they stop scaring you this much. Then negative emotions don't become negative anymore. They just become emotions that are coming and going.
That can happen?
Yeah. Takes practice. takes acknowledgement and takes going through, allowing yourself to be uncomfortable for some time. क्योंकि हमें बहुत आदत है to distract ourselves. हम uncomfortable होते हैं तो immediately we will, do something which is going to take me away from this sensation. But if you just allow yourself to be uncomfortable for some time, the coming out process of from this uncomfortable emotion becomes much easier. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. It's just like, the first time you go to the gym and you're training your body, you hate it. Like the first week in the gym is like, I'm never coming back. But 3 weeks into the gym and you're like, oh, look at me with my protein shake. I'm such a stud. Same thing with emotions. Yeah.
Wow. So, are there also ways through which I can talk to my emotions? Like literally talk to them and let them sit there, give their message out, and then move on.
Yeah, there are many ways of getting in touch with your emotions. My preferred way is with the help of sitting in silence and meditating, but of course, that's not everyone's, people have different ways. Another way that you can use is to actually journal, something known as free writing, where you don't judge what you're writing, you just allow everything to flow out. So I'll take you back to the example of the colleague. This colleague has now taken credit for my work and is getting a promotion. So in my journal, I'm like, ye colleague sala, everything comes out, which helps me understand kya chal raha hai mere saath. You can also choose to talk to someone if you're more of a vocal person and release it, but release it in a safe space. I would say don't go to someone who's like, अभी तो ऐसे कर, फिर तू ऐसे कर, फिर तू ऐसे कर. वो advice का पिटारा वाले लोगों के पास अगर आप जाओगे, you may actually end up feeling worse. So, talking to someone is also one way. Some people prefer to first change their mental state. So, for example, I feel really sad. I go exercise for a bit or dance for a bit. Now I feel better. Now I'm in a situation to handle my difficult emotion better. So, or you may want to, maybe some people also like to express with the help of painting or doodling. It's really, there's no one size fits all. With practice, you will, and with recognition, you would be able to understand what works for me when I'm experiencing something difficult and what can I do to work through this emotion. So again, the key here to remember here is that instead of pushing it away, can you find a way to become friends with it and work with it? The more you work with it, the easier it gets eventually.
I hope आप सुन रहे हैं इस बात को. आपके लिए बात करना काम कर सकता है, पर किसी ऐसे इंसान के पास ना जाए जो नसीहतों का पिटारा हो कि अरे ऐसे कैसे फील कर सकती हो,
और
अभी
खुश रहो तो
क्या या और थोड़ा ऐसे कर लो, थोड़ा वैसे कर लो. बेसिकली all kinds of suggestions are distracting you from processing the emotion is what Soumya wants to tell.
Also, at this point, I would also say, अगर आपके पास कभी कोई आता है, और मैंने ये गलती करी है with my friends also when before I got into therapy, where अगर कोई आएगा and they're like, I'm feeling so bad, a lot of us have this tendency to comfort by saying, it's okay, time heals everything, ये भी बीत जाएगा. But when I'm going through something difficult, that's the last thing I want to hear, right? So if someone comes to you to seek help, I think one of the things that we can do is to let them be with that emotion, because they need to work with it instead of telling them कि ये बीत जाएगा. And obviously, अगर आप उस situation में नहीं है, you can only imagine what someone is going through. You can't really understand what they're going through, right? So what we can do as friends is to, and as a society, I think, is to let people be with difficult emotions instead of trying to tell them कि या तो बीत जाएगा या फिर खुश हो जाओ, लड्डू खा लो, whatever. Change your state in some way immediately.
Like feeling that way in itself is so criminal and not normal thing.
Yeah.
So don't let people get to you on that note. Don't let people teach you how to live your life, even on emotional level. Career-wise, नहीं सुना हमने से बहुतों ने नहीं सुना. जो दिल में आया और we are happy about it. But emotionally, sometimes we do get misguided. Don't do that. Don't do that. Visit a friend, talk to a friend if talking helps. Paint if painting helps. Cycle if cycling helps. But you have to figure that out. What helps. Now,
and Namita, I'll just interrupt you here just for a second. These were some great things that you just said, and I would say to everyone listening here, just like घर में एक first aid kit होता है for physical hurt, it might be a good idea for you to recognize what are the things that work for you when you're feeling not that great, and have an emotional kit ready for you. My emotional first aid kit. So maybe, usme maine, one of the things I have is this friend that I can talk to. Matlab, not physically put them in a box, but a reminder that I can call this friend. And your journal can be there, or something that reminds you, what can I do to take care of myself right now, instead of feeling lost when that emotion visits you again.
Oh, nice. Soumya, that brings me to a very, very important question. There are a lot of us may have felt very low at one point or the other through our life. People we are interacting with also come with their baggage, right?
Correct.
So how do we differentiate between oh, somebody reacting or judging us a particular way because of their experiences of life, and where do we start assessing their comments about us in a more, let's say, open fashion, wherein we accept कि नहीं ठीक है, सामने वाले का रीडिंग probably objective होगा, तो मुझे उस direction में काम करना चाहिए. So objectivity versus protection of one's own self against judgment.
Okay, could you clarify this for me with the help of an example, maybe?
Okay, so I think what happens is when I'm asking a question, there are a lot of scenarios going on in my head. So what happens is in our everyday life, we meet so many people in the office, we meet so many people amongst, so many kinds of friends, and so many kinds of relatives around us. Now, there are people who could be coming to us with a very, very good intention. We may not be emotionally in a position to be accepting to their advices, but their reading may be very, very correct about us, right? How do we differentiate between the lot which genuinely means well and it's a very objective understanding of the personality that we are, versus a lot which is only trying to attack and put us down? How do you differentiate between these two kinds of people in your life to kind of balance it in a way where your self-confidence and self-respect is not crushed in the process?
Okay, that's a difficult question to answer. And you're right that there are times that there are people who may be their intentions may not be bad, but they end up doing more damage in the process of trying to help you, and you may feel smaller about yourself than you were feeling before that conversation began. So one, I would say that I don't have another word to use here, but I would say that it's going to be an intuitive feeling which would guide you here, which would tell you that, okay, this is someone that I can go to when I need help, and what they tell me may work for me. And always remember that, like you said, सब लोग अपनी कहानी लेके आते हैं, सब अपने experiences लेके आएंगे. Somebody may have gone through exactly what you're going through, but what they did may not work for you, which means if this said person is not a professional, then whatever they're saying, take it with a grain of salt, because even though your experience may be completely shared, you are still a unique individual with your own unique story. And if you're walking out of a conversation feeling worse about yourself than you were feeling before, then maybe it has less to do with you and more to do with their need to be right in that situation, to tell you कि मेरे पास इतना ज्ञान है, now you take this away from me. So it's more of once again, अगर किसी के पास जाके आपको हमेशा बुरा ही लगता है, even if this is someone who you know is very close to you and means well for you, it's okay for you to protect yourself in that situation and not go to this person and go to someone else instead. क्योंकि उस समय आपको अपना ध्यान रखने की जरूरत है. उनको बुरा लगे नहीं लगे वो बाद में देखेंगे. Yeah, right. Was I able to answer a little bit? It was a tough question.
Definitely. And I think that is where the whole story of life and relationship is stuck in between.
Yeah.
Two kinds of people. So there we have another question here. Lalit Manu says, hello Soumya, I would like to ask if it is correct to forgive and forget. Does that mean emotionally?
Does that mean you're weaker emotionally? Okay.
No, I can forgive, I can't forget. Like, I can't forget.
Okay. Yeah. So forgiveness, forgiveness is essentially an act, if I have to look at it. One, it does not happen immediately. अगर किसी ने आपके साथ कुछ गलत किया है, और आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है, तो वन दैट गुस्सा इज वैलिड, एंड एकदम से माफी भी नहीं आती है, क्योंकि हम लोग we're not enlightened beings, at least not yet, maybe some of the people here maybe, but so it's normal that आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है इसलिए अभी माफ करने की इच्छा नहीं हो रही है. But a lot of times, with time, if you want to move on from that particular episode, it's an act of kindness that you are doing towards yourself. When you choose to forgive another for the hurt that they caused to you, you are now making a conscious decision to move on. So again, forgiveness is not so much about the other person, unless they're on their deathbed and that's their last wish. Forgiveness has more to do with, मैंने ये इतना गुस्सा, इतना दर्द अपने अंदर अभी तक संभाल के रखा है, and I've been a prisoner with myself. Now I choose to release it so that I can move on. Does forgetting always come with forgiveness? Possibly not. If the pain that was caused was a lot for you, that episode would stay with you. Maybe you don't want to trust this person again, and that's fine. That's a way that you're protecting yourself. So maaf kar do aur bhool jao is again more of a colloquial saying,
Yeah.
right? So for some people, they may be able to do it, and if it was like a genuine mistake and the person is genuinely very, very apologetic about what they did, and you believe their word, then maybe it might be a good idea to forget that episode. You may not forget the visuals of it, but it may not affect you anymore. But if it's an episode where you completely felt backstabbed or cheated or whatever it is, and you're choosing to move on, it's an act of kindness towards yourself. So I would say it requires a little bit of a shift in perspective, that yes, you're releasing the other person, but more than that, you're releasing yourself from whatever happened.
So, before I move on to my last question, I want one more clarification here. Is it also possible for a person to have gone through a certain kind of judgment for so long and so many various quarters through the life that you literally become numb to it? And then you don't react. Then you kind of force yourself to forget.
Yeah.
Move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah. It's reminding me of what happens a lot of times in, let's say, an abusive relationship that you're not able to get out of, where you're just there's this it's so toxic, I don't know what to do with it, and now I choose to not react to it. So it's the same as अगर कोई बार बार मुझे मेरे कंधे पे मार रहा है, for some time I may choose to react, and then after a while I'm like, oh, the situation is not going to change, or so it's when you say that I choose to not react to it, it's also giving me a little bit of a feeling of the person who's choosing to not react may now be feeling helpless, कि ये तो होता ही रहता है, मैं क्या करूँ इस situation में, if I can't do anything, then I might as well not react to it. So I would say that once again, pause and see if this is a relationship that is it so important for you to be in this relationship. Of course, that sometimes these are relationships we can't get out of. For example, a difficult relationship with a mother, and if you're still emotionally, financially, physically dependent on the mother, you may not be able to get out of it right now. But how much importance are you still willing to give to it, knowing that this is causing so much damage to you? And sometimes I think in these situations, it's also important to, अगर खुद handle नहीं हो रहा है, खुद को ये helpless feeling आ रही है, seek out professional help. And then you may...
Very, very important next question, which I kind of delayed, but you circled me down to it anyway. We will address it straight up in the room. For you, because Soumya was already almost answering it, but just giving it a context here or putting it in perspective, I would like you to answer, Soumya, to the very, very difficult question here. And sometimes when it is faced in a family situation, also a very difficult and emotional situation. When do you actually how and when do you actually kind of decide that you or a family member needs professional help? Where do you draw the line with respect to emotions, difficulty with emotions, process of dealing, and medical help or psychological help?
That's a great question. And so with the other kind of negative emotions or the emotions जो ऊपर नीचे every day में हो रहे होते हैं, but you know that they're not staying with you for a long time, then that means that you're capable of you have the tools with you to handle a particular difficult emotion. But let's say, I'll take the example of sadness. सबके जीवन में दुख आता है, तो कोई दिन अच्छा है, कोई दिन बुरा है. But let's say this emotion has now become so huge that it's making you dysfunctional. ऑफिस में काम नहीं हो रहा, दोस्तों से बात नहीं हो रही, जो चीजें पहले पसंद थी वो अब करने का मन नहीं होता है. And now it's taking the shape of grief for you. So I'll take an example from my own life. I've been practicing as a therapist, but last year, November, something happened in my life because of which I experienced a lot of grief. There was a loss that took place. Even though I had all of these tools in my toolkit, because it was happening to me, I became very dysfunctional. I wasn't able to work properly. I wasn't feeling like myself. And that's when I understood that because my life has gone out of order, it has turned into a disorder. This grief took me to to seek out professional help. I went to a therapist and I sought sessions for almost 2 months, and it was only after I was able to work with someone who was able to see my situation objectively that I figured out new tools, new strategies to come out of this grief. So a simple way to identify it is, अगर आपको लगता है that your emotions are making you dysfunctional, or you are experiencing a lot of distress, or your life has completely gone out of order, then that's a good time to reach out or seek professional help. And if you just people around you and you yourself would be able to identify when is it just a passing emotion, and when is it an emotion that is now making me not the productive person that I used to be.
Wow, Soumya, that was so empowering. Soumya is a therapist herself. Soumya is a yoga instructor, which means she's dealing with two kinds of professional training to basically have more consciousness or mindfulness about her body and mind and emotions. I mean, at length. And still, Soumya has no qualms standing up in front of you guys and saying, I needed that profession.
Absolutely. So, just like, if I'm an oncologist, as in like a cancer specialist, लेकिन अगर मुझे cancer होगा, तो मैं खुद को chemo नहीं दूंगी. I will go to an oncologist, right? So just because I'm a therapist does not take away the fact that I'm also a human, which means I may need to seek therapy. And in fact, and I can assure you this, that if any of you are seeking therapy right now, it's a good idea to ask your therapist if they have ever been in therapy themselves. अगर खुद पे काम नहीं किया है तो किसी की कैसे मदद कर सकते हो? So
yes. So a lot to learn from you here, Soumya, today. Thank you so much for agreeing to be with us. This was enriching beyond possibility of words to express. So so that's one. Secondly, to the viewers at this point, I would like to remind you all that Humanizing Lies does exactly that. Please get in touch with us if you're going through even a slight bit of difficulty in dealing with your emotions, or any recent past occurrence that may have shaken you up to a point where you're not being able to see things objectively. We've got psychologists on board who will help you out. Soumya will help you out, others will help you out. We'll see who we can get for you. And we are here, we exist because you need to be healthy emotionally. Boho says, Soumya, you're a fantastic and you are a fantastic therapist, and your responses and explanations are so wonderful. Wow. Yes, my word. Echo with her completely. Surabhi says, Soumya, you rock. Now, Soumya, since we are concluding this session here, I want you to conclude it in your own words before I go ahead and close the session. I want you to please conclude it in your own words and give the listeners a little bit of hand down here and there to deal with their everyday emotional issues in the quickest possible, easiest possible ways.
I would just leave you with the thought of it's a pause.
Okay, there's a connection problem, I think, on Soumya's end. We'll give it another minute. Can everybody else hear me, so that it is not something that I am facing? Okay, I have no idea. Wow. So what I don't know what exactly happened. I hope this is no glitch on my end, and I think we lost Soumya, or else we will wait for a minute or so for her to come back so that we so that we can say a respectful goodbye. And thank you for her being here with us, and I hope that happens. So I'm going to try connect with her one last time. Okay, so no, we've lost her. So we will end the session here. I hope you all had a good time. I hope you all got a lot of your questions answered there. I hope you all learned a little bit, just like I did. I learned a lot. I learned a great. Okay, so she's here. She's back. Uh, I learned a great deal. I can't even begin to explain the level of gratitude I feel towards Soumya today for having decoded or untangled so many of my assumptions and understandings about emotions here. So I hope you all resonate with that. And Soumya, yes, you will conclude the session and then we'll quickly.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. The technical errors, my phone decided to switch off, so I had to reconnect it. Yeah. So just before leaving, I would just want to leave everyone with the thought of that one, it's okay when you're experiencing difficult emotions. It does not make you abnormal in any way. It does not make you weak. If you decide to sit with a particular emotion, it's a part of the human experience. And the second is that when you are experiencing difficult emotions, remember to pause and remember to reach into your emotional first aid kit and see what can you do for yourself to self-soothe at that time instead of trying to push it away or ignore that particular emotion. And if your emotion is actually overwhelming and you feel that अभी family भी नहीं support कर पा रही है, I am feeling very dysfunctional, there are lots of good therapists out there, and there are organizations like yours, Humanizing Life, which are out there to help you through this process. And I love the name of your organization, in fact, Namita, Humanizing Lives. It's just recognizing that we are humans is half the job done.
True, because the society anyway puts us under so much of pressure to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Soumya. On that note, thank you so much for being with us, and you were amazing. And I'm sure the comments, you've already gone through them, and they are self-explanatory. So I don't really have to kind of get into all of that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope we can do this again.
Absolutely.
We have, in the times of COVID, an online therapy going on. So please let us know if you are interested. We will personally counsel you. We will get in touch with you. We will conduct an online session with you on Zoom, and we will ensure that you keep feeling strong and stronger. Like Soumya puts it, जिम जाना जरूरी है फिजिकल हेल्थ के लिए, तो इमोशनल वाला जिम हमने खोल रखा है ऑनलाइन. आइए, मजे
I love that.
खुशी खुशी जाइए. Till then, like I always say, keep smiling bright and wide, and if you can't, get in touch with Humanizing Lives. Thank you so much on that. Thank you so much.
Bye.